It was a quiet evening at the Skylux Hotel, one of Tokyo's most luxurious rooftop restaurants, famous for its panoramic view of the city's skyline. The soft hum of jazz music filled the air as waiters moved gracefully between tables, serving guests who paid more for a glass of wine than most made in a day. Among the staff was Aisha Carter, a young black woman from Chicago. She had come to Japan 2 years ago to pursue her dream, to master the art of Japanese cuisine. Despite working multiple jobs and facing stares from people unaccustomed to seeing a foreigner in fine dining, she carried herself with dignity. Her smile was calm, her posture perfect, her Japanese accent nearly flawless. That night, the restaurant buzzed more than usual. The owner had mentioned that a billionaire was dining in, a guest of extreme importance. He was a powerful real estate magnate named Ryuji Takahara, known for his ruthless business tactics and even sharper tongue. His face often appeared in magazines, not for his kindness, but for his arrogance. Aisha was assigned to his table. She took a deep breath before approaching, balancing a tray with grace. "Good evening, sir," she greeted politely in Japanese. "Welcome to Skylux. Would you like to start with our chef's special amuse-bouche?" Ryuji looked up, his eyes cold and dismissive. He seemed surprised to hear fluent Japanese from her lips. He didn't reply right away, just smirked. He said finally, in English, his tone dripping with condescension. "Didn't expect someone like you to speak my language." Aisha held her poise. "I'm honored to serve you tonight, sir," she said simply. But as the evening went on, his arrogance only grew. Every time she approached, he found a new way to belittle her, asking if she knew what chopsticks were really for, correcting her pronunciation even when she was right, and making jokes that made his guests laugh uncomfortably. When she served his wine, his voice suddenly rose. "Clumsy," he barked. "Watch where you put that glass." The room fell silent, heads turned. Aisha froze, but only for a second. She bowed slightly. "Apologies, sir," she said softly. But Ryuji wasn't done. Switching to Japanese, he muttered under his breath, "Baka kuro onna." The words stung like knives. Stupid black woman. It wasn't the first time she'd heard such a phrase. But coming from someone who thought himself untouchable, it hit differently. The other diners looked down awkwardly, pretending not to hear. Her manager stood by the bar, paralyzed. No one said a word. Aisha turned slowly toward him. Her eyes, calm yet fierce, locked on his. And then, in flawless Japanese, crisp, confident, and formal, she spoke. "Sumimasen, Takahara-sama, watashi wa baka demo, anata no uni kokura no binbojin ya arimasen." The restaurant gasped. She had said, "Excuse me, Mr. Takahara, I may be stupid, but at least I am not poor in heart like you." For a moment, silence blanketed the room. The billionaire's face turned crimson. His mouth opened, but no words came out. He wasn't used to being spoken to like that, especially not in his own language, with perfect grammar and elegance that humbled him. Aisha bowed deeply, set the wine bottle down gently, and walked away with dignity. The whispers began instantly. "Did you hear that?" She spoke like a professor. Her accent was flawless. Even Ryuji's guests avoided his eyes, embarrassed to be sitting with him. Minutes later, the restaurant's owner, Mr. Yamamoto, approached Ryuji's table nervously. "Sir, perhaps I can bring you something to ease the..." Ryuji cut him off. "No, bring her back." Yamamoto hesitated. "Sir, she is shaken." "I said bring her back." Ryuji snapped. A few minutes later, Aisha returned. Her face was calm again, though her heart pounded. Ryuji looked at her for a long time before speaking. His tone had softened. "Where did you learn Japanese?" "From my grandmother," she said. "She lived here for 30 years. I studied under her before she passed." Ryuji blinked, visibly surprised. "Your grandmother was Japanese?" Aisha nodded. "Half. My mother's side. She taught me more than the language. She taught me respect." He looked down, ashamed. His arrogance cracked slightly. "I spoke out of turn," he muttered. "You are not stupid." Aisha smiled faintly. "No one is stupid, sir. We just learn in different ways." The billionaire didn't know how to respond. For the rest of the evening, he sat quietly, barely touching his food. When the check came, he signed it without looking up. But as Aisha cleared the table, he slipped a folded note beneath the tip tray. Later, when she went to count the bill, she unfolded it. It read, "Greater than, you reminded me of my mother tonight. She used to say the same words. Thank you for your courage." Beneath the note was a tip, not of money, but an invitation to a private event at his company headquarters. Aisha didn't know whether to go. But her manager urged her, "You made an impression on him. Maybe this could change something." A week later, she stood outside Takahara Global's skyscraper, nervous, yet composed. Inside, she found not a dinner, but a charity event. The banner read, "Cultural Bridges, Diversity in Japan's Workforce." At the center of it all stood Ryuji himself, speaking to a crowd of executives and media. "I've spent decades thinking success meant power," he said, voice steady but sincere. "But last week, a waitress taught me that true strength lies in respect. I said something I deeply regret." And she responded not with anger, but with grace and wisdom. He turned toward Aisha, who stood at the back. "Miss Carter, please join me." The room erupted in applause as she walked forward, unsure what was happening. Ryuji handed her a framed certificate. "From this day," he said, "you will lead our new program, training Japanese hospitality staff in cultural sensitivity and language exchange. If you accept, your work will inspire thousands." Tears filled her eyes. "I accept," she whispered. That night, the same city lights that once felt cold now seemed to sparkle with warmth. Aisha walked home through the Tokyo streets, smiling at how fate had turned a moment of humiliation into a lifetime of purpose. And somewhere, perhaps for the first time, billionaire Ryuji Takahara learned the true meaning of humility, from a woman he once called stupid, but who spoke with the voice of wisdom.